The startup ecosystem of Africa is not like other developed parts of the world. In Africa, most startups are not even able to pass the initial years because of the challenges faced by entrepreneurs in the region. These challenges hamper the growth of startups such that they are barely surviving rather than thriving. Lack of access to finance. The first major challenge faced by entrepreneurs in Africa is the lack of access to finance. In many parts of the world, there is a proper startup ecosystem where young entrepreneurs with their promising ideas are supported by investors. But that is hardly the case in Africa. In Africa, entrepreneurs who come up with promising ideas do not have the financial resources to fund their efforts by themselves, and there is no proper ecosystem to receive funding from investors. A huge number of small businesses and startups that are founded in Africa are unable to survive for long because of a lack of capital. More so, banks and other lenders are not very cooperative in this regard because they consider this a risky investment. Minimal innovation. There is another challenge of minimal innovation in the region. In Africa, many people found startups and businesses as an alternative to unemployment and hardly as a way of introducing something new and innovative. However, in recent years, we have seen a change in this trend, and many startups that have been founded across Africa that show tremendous innovation and were able to secure capital for themselves. But there is still a lot of room for improvement. Infrastructural constraints. Infrastructural challenges are a bane for many entrepreneurs in Africa. In more developed climes, businesses are able to grow and sustain themselves because they have reliable access to electricity, water, communication services, roads, and affordable, safe public transport, all of which are imperative for the growth of a business. But here in Africa, these basic amenities are not easily accessible. More so, most small business owners and entrepreneurs start working from their homes instead of having proper offices, and as such, may be unable to conduct their businesses as efficiently as they would from an office. Manpower issues. Finding skilled and talented workers across different industries is also another challenge. Many entrepreneurs face difficulties in finding affordable and skilled workers in different fields. Young entrepreneurs who are on a tight budget are the most vulnerable to being affected by this challenge because they cannot afford to keep skilled workers around for long because of high salaries and wages. When entrepreneurs try to cope with this challenge by hiring inexperienced and unskilled people, they end up destroying their business. Limited access to professional networks. In developed societies, young and upcoming entrepreneurs have access to professional networks that consist of business graduates and business owners. However, in Africa, young entrepreneurs hardly have access to professional networks and people. This means that in the African region, entrepreneurs may not easily get advice from professionals, have access to mentors, enter new markets, and gather funding. This kind of environment is hard and challenging for entrepreneurs who have to do everything on their own for the survival of their startup or business. Africa has a stronger entrepreneurial spirit than the rest of the world. This is evidenced by the rapid growth of new businesses in the region. The good news is that entrepreneurs in Africa are made of strong stuff and will see every challenge as an opportunity to create a competitive advantage.